I just arrived at the hotel. I'm going to start today's video at the end, or at the hotel, because I come across some amazing roads today. I wasn't expecting it, and I think that is one of the advantages of not over planning the route, that you don't really know when the spectacular scenery is coming. So today was pretty good. Well, the disadvantage of not planning too much is you get to the hotel and then there's no room at the inn. Apparently there's a concert in the area and they got rooms, but they're £91, so I ain't paying that. But I just looked online, there's loads around. There was one for £23, it's about 500 metres away, so I'll just make my way up there. He was from Nepal and he supported Man U. So he's quite a nice young man. No room at hotel number 2. Hotel number 3 doesn't have anything. Well, hotel number 4. So I'm gonna have to either head out of this area and then if I can't find anything, I'm gonna have to head out into the countryside and bivvy. Well, I can always go back to where I first arrived because they do have room, but it is a bit more. I'm just cycling through like a shopping centre, trying to find another place which online looks like they got room. So this will be my last try, I think, before going back. So don't worry, I'm not the only one cycling through it. Everyone is. Let's hope they have room at the inn. Yeah, so now back to the end. When I first got here, he said it was £91, which is way outside of my budget. So looking online, it looked like there were some others, but everywhere was full up because there's a concert on in this town. It's Saturday. Should have bared that in mind, really. So I thought that's too much. So I went off, rode round. As you see in the other videos, everywhere was full. Tried quite a few places. Came back here thinking, oh, at least there's a spot. The £91 room had gone. But then, so he said they had no rooms. But then he says they have a special room where people could take their pets, which he said was cheaper, but it's actually a little bit more. So I've got a dog room. Shame that he's not here. So I booked into the dog room. And he's just asked me to wait a minute. I've asked him if I could take my bike in. He said no, but I was like, well, if you can take a dog in there, you take a bike in there. So he just said wait a minute, and he's going to check, but he's got some other people. So yeah, silly mistakes really. I should have just, especially after yesterday when I said that it was a bit cheaper to book it online, and there was loads of accommodation this morning at this town. And then the price has just jumped up here, so yeah, big mistake really, but oh well, learn and move on. Goes up to get breakfast. So the sun is back out, just a short ride, 3k to the ferry, then it's over to Takushima, then I'll ride up to Takamatsu. Well, according to Google, I'm here, but I need to double check this. Yeah, I am here. What I did wrong is I cycled down there. There is no entry, but I think you go in there and then you walk along there to get to it. Looks like the ferry has arrived, lowering the bridge. Since I went and sat in the shade while waiting to get on, I had to go to the back of the queue. So, Shikoku Island. It's quite breezy. So today's lunch, sort of meal price, chocolate and a Coke, £5.21. You can see from that bag and that flag, it is windy, so I don't think it's going to take me too long to get where I'm going. So I could cross back to the main island, but I've got to get 2 ferries for that. So I'll play it by ear. It is 2 o'clock. Actually gone off my route, and this was more the main road, so interesting what my route would have been like. This is quite a climb actually. Just saw some European tourists going down the hill, a couple. This is looking like the top. Wasn't too long. I think that through those trees there's going to be a really spectacular view, but unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, there's lots of trees in the way halfway down this descent, so yeah, it's quite a pleasant route here. Other than those 2 cyclists, I haven't seen anyone for ages. Well, there's a little bit of a glimpse there, so I think it's I was going to say it could be a good chance for the helicopter, but it is very windy. I don't want to get blown off, so actually I won't. Yeah, and those who don't know from the other videos, the helicopter is the drone, and yeah, if I had a bit more experience with it and knew what it was capable of, I'd probably get it out if I knew it was safe in these wind conditions, but I don't fancy climbing down that cliff to try and get it back if it gets blown away. I have to say, this is cycling heaven. Have a look. Lovely forest, windy roads, quiet switchbacks, ocean, hills in the distance. So I've just come down from. Some sort of temple, and then some sort of park with a beach just the other side of it, I guess. Some cyclists. So I'm having my first pack of crisps in Japan. It looks like some sort of sour cream and chive flavour, ridged. They're quite good, but I forgot I had those Pringle things, didn't I? Just for the last few Ks now. Well, after all that fatting, finally out for dinner, and I'm very hungry. I had a large chicken rice bowl. Looks good to me. Right, so I will just wrap up the day. I'm in my dog room. It's actually not bad, even though obviously all my crap is on that bed. They've got like dog bowls, So yeah, a bit of a mistake. I mean, I mentioned several things which could have been options actually earlier in the videos. I could have just got the ferries over the next couple of islands, but I didn't know, I hadn't checked the times of them, whether they'd still be running at that point. As I said, I could have gone out and bivvied, but I'd have had to have rode out the city, which would have been 10-20 kilometres in one of the directions to find the spot, and it would have been dark by that point. I would have been happy doing that. Well, not happy, but I'd have not been bothered by doing that. But again, I would have been putting it up in the dark, which wouldn't have been ideal, and also it would have been the first time doing it on the trip. So the first time is always a little bit awkward. You know, you're a bit like, you know, getting used to it. So it wouldn't have been ideal, but I would have been fine. It could have been worse though if it had been chucking down and nowhere to stay. But then I could have found some 24-hour cafe or something, bar or something. So the thing with the bike, what was annoying me, it's fine that, okay, well, I understand they won't let you in the room sometimes, even so far, it's only been once or twice they've not let me in, but they've always gave me somewhere to put it. But what was annoying me was there was a gate down the side which was locked, and the side entrance of a hotel, and I was just saying, I can't put it behind there, and there was another bike there, and he was saying no because it's against the rules. He's one of those. So he was from Nepal. But then I said, well, where's the other bike there? And then he said that it had been dumped there, even though it was like locked up. I was like, well. So I said, well, if it's just been dumped, just put it, because it was locked to itself. I said, just put it the other side of the gate, and I could put mine there. And it's the same space, because he was also saying that the cleaners had to clean there. So he was obviously making excuses which didn't really stand up to any logical questioning. And then I sort of kept on at him. You know, I was talking to him like this, wasn't getting angry, obviously. And then I said, can't you ring your boss? Because he was saying, oh, it's my boss. I said, can't you ring someone who's in charge? I did say to him, what would you do if I just put it in my room? And then he said, well, you'd be asked to leave. And then I sort of got it in amongst talking about other things, because I was talking to him quite a bit, like what time's your shift end? So I was thinking, when he's gone, I could just bring it in. But I think it is fairly secure now, and I think it probably would have been all right where it was. But I say the trip is over if anything happens to the bike. And I do have a lock, but it's not. You could nick it easy, as most bike locks are anyway. Now I can start like bivvying out every now and then, but so it's still fairly built up as well, and you can normally get a hotel like between £20 and £30. So having to pay over the odds tonight is a bit annoying, but as I say, it's it's just happens, doesn't it? So at least I got somewhere to stay, and it happened before when I arrived in Almaty in Kazakhstan. On the big trip, that was only because I could not find any hotels, because obviously it was in the Russian alphabet, and translate on the phone and that it wasn't as good as what it is now. So the only hotel I could find, I had to pay like £90 there. But with that one, I just had 3 weeks of camping as I rode across the far west of China and into Kazakhstan. So didn't it was annoying again, but it's like, it's going to happen from time to time. You can't have budget all the time, but the trip couldn't happen if it was like this every night. So it's been a very good day. I said a lot of faffing at the end, just like riding around. I just tried so many places. But yeah, it's a K-pop concert on, and it's like a ferry town. It's a Saturday. But when I looked, there was so much accommodation which you could book, and then the prices disappear when it's not available. And what's coming up? So yeah, I've got to get a double. Tomorrow will be like today. I've got to get a double ferry back to the main island. So it's like a ferry to another island and then another ferry. They won't be as long, maybe an hour and then half an hour. And then I will ride along the coast, southwestwards. And there's the famous sort of cycle expressway, over some suspension bridges, which is meant to be the most iconic cycling route in Japan. So I won't be able to do that all in one day, so I'll just get to the start of that. So tomorrow will be like today, where it will be sort of ferry, then 70, 80k, and then it will be 70, 80k the day after to get across the iconic cycle route. So yeah, it's been good. I say, but the scenery did surprise me, but by when I was checking in by saying like, oh, the advantages of not planning it, that come back to bite me. So yeah, maybe I will pay a bit more attention. It's on the accommodation side anyway. All right, that's quite a long clip, this one. All right, I'll see you.